How did it feel being an Arsenal fan?
Oh, Spurs.
And going to a team named Spurs?
I knew you were going to say that, bro. It was actually the craziest thing for a little bit.
Hello! What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Elischa here, and welcome back to another episode of Evergreen. And this is not just a regular episode. This is a very, very, very special episode, man, because today we have our very first guest, the one and only, my boy Josh Richardson. What up, Jay Rich? Jay Rich in the building. My brother, man. Make sure that y'all make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow the Goal, make sure you subscribe to the Goal page, follow us on social, all that good stuff, man. Share this with, who should they share this with? Your pet snake's mom's giraffe.
Yes. The giraffe's daughter.
The giraffe's daughter. Make sure you share it with the daughter. You know what I'm saying? She be moving a little weird, but she deserves to see this anyways.
Share it.
Let's get it. You're an NBA player, currently for the Miami Heat, but you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Right? You started off, you're from Edmond, Oklahoma, went to Santa Fe, Edmond High School, played point guard there.
Yeah.
University of Tennessee, Volunteers, and then going on to the NBA. So in between, take us from your upbringing, constantly, going up the ranks, playing basketball, now to being a professional basketball player. Where do you have time to even become a football fan, let alone an Arsenal fan? How does that happen? Who inspired you? Take us through that journey.
Yeah, so it started, so growing up, I never played soccer. None of my homies played soccer. Well, I did have one next door neighbor that played, and he was on the USA team when we were growing up. He played at UNC Chapel Hill.
Okay.
He got ACC Player of the Year, I think once, maybe twice. He got drafted to Real Salt Lake.
Fire.
So we grew up and just seeing him
Who
train.
was it?
His name's Boyd Okwanu.
Boyd Okwanu.
Yeah, he's Nigerian.
Okay.
He was like a fullback.
And that was the only the closest
thing to soccer,
to anything
football
related. Yeah. Okay.
And we I grew up playing Foursquare with him and just watching him train, helping him a little bit. But I got to college and my junior year, I lived in a house with 4 different people. Yeah. And one of my roommates' brothers would always come. His name was Mackenzie. And he would always be like, yo, you play FIFA? And I'm like, nah, I'm not playing that. Yeah. He'd be like, bro, you gotta play FIFA.
And this is junior year in college.
Yeah, so I'm 19.
Okay.
And finally he got me, start playing with him. And I'm looking, and Arsenal's usually at the beginning of the teams you see.
Yeah.
So I picked them one day, and I see Walcott tearing down the wing, Alexis Sanchez, Õzil's the maestro.
Yeah.
It's all those guys are there, and it's all right, I kind of like how this is looking. Yeah. And so that I made that the team I used on the game, and then I kind of started watching, but my first year in the league, I got drafted to Miami, and my friend group I ended up meeting was all Brazilians. Athos is Brilliant, Arthur is Russian, his dad coaches FC Lokomotiv.
Fire.
So he forced us to watch all their games.
Yeah.
So I was just always around it, and they would always just have me talking about it. So I'm they're not gonna keep talking about this. And I don't know what I'm talking about. So I started watching every week, watching Arsenal and everything, and it just grew. And so now, I'm a Gooner for life.
That's crazy because a lot of people who became Arsenal fans, before that era, they got to see really the golden age of Arsenal, the Thierry Henrys, the Dennis Bergkamp. You came into a time where Arsenal was struggling.
It was dark.
Right? It was the dark time. So
dark.
I'll commend you. I'll give you props for not jumping on the bandwagon. And it's not like new City fans. The City fans who were fans before, before the takeover, before the City group, before it, all the money came in. I respect that. Yeah. An Arsenal fan that became a fan while Theo was there, while Õzil, all of that. So you're a real one.
Of course.
You're a real one.
For sure.
Okay, so this is something that identified with the team. How did it feel when you went to your first Arsenal match?
Who were we playing my first? Oh my goodness, bro. It was amazing. So me and 5 of my boys, we all went to London, 3 years ago? And we went to the match against Manchester United. when Cristiano was still there, and we won. I want to say we won 2-1 when Xhaka hit that screamer from outside of the box.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo should have had 2 goals, but he had 2 offsides on the goals. So it was, and like just seeing like the Emirates and like after being a fan for so long, being able to go there and experience it and be able to walk around, like, do the chants and like a couple people recognizing me from like the States is just like, it was amazing, bro. Like, and I go every year now. I go to a game every summer.
And that's incredible. I'm always fascinated by how people get into the game and what like makes them tick. Cause I grew up in Haiti and it's like Haiti's the main sport over there. Mm-hmm. So you're here, you're in the US where it's a growing game, but at that time especially, it's not like, it's not as much as the UK or, South America or Africa or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you're coming up in basketball, like I said earlier, climbing up the ranks. Even I read that your junior year in college made first team All SEC, SEC All Defensive Team and a defensive All American team. So it's like you're actually like you're hooping, and it's like the aspirations and the goal of getting to the NBA. I'm assuming is like becoming more and more of a reality.
Yeah.
So it's like that takes a lot of people don't understand one like the amount of willpower, the amount of mental space that takes for you to get to that point. Yeah. So to be able to actually at some point, actually get there to that dream, to that goal, you're a professional and still have it in you to fall in love with a new game. To me is so interesting because it's like it goes to show the power of football. Like I tell people a lot, it's not just a game, right? It's not just a sport. It's not just something that like people live and die by this. And when someone gets bit by that bug, it's real.
It's magnetic, bro.
Yeah.
It is.
And how has that changed you as a basketball player? Like, is that something where, have you taken anything from football into your game as a NBA player?
I actually like kind of like small things, you know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, how I am in the media, I kind of like take things from like watching like football players, like interviews. Like I really like appreciate in football how honest people are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like in the media here, like it's very like taboo to like be like real, like say like negative things or say like what you really feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like
just the way polished.
Yeah, just the way that they do that and like kind of like the realness of it, I really appreciate that. So like as my careers went on, I've kind of like taken that and like whatever I'm feeling, like I'm gonna find a way to say it, you know what I'm saying? But like just from the game standpoint, how much of a team game it is, how much of, the rest of the team that every player has to lean on, and like, it goes hand in hand kind of with basketball, and it's only 5 of us out there.
Yeah.
So like, being able to give and go or get off the ball real quick and make a move, or, turn a defense to offense, or just little transitions, it's very similar.
Yeah. And you talk about the similarities between the two games, and we can go down a little bit through what your journey has been as a professional. Got drafted 2nd round, 40th overall to the Miami Heat. Ended up getting traded to the 76ers and then the Mavericks, then on to the Celtics, to San Antonio, the Pelicans, and then now back to Miami. First of all, I gotta ask, super, super ironic, and I don't know if you were an Arsenal fan back then. How did it feel being an Arsenal fan Spurs. and going to a team named Spurs?
I knew you were going to say that, bro. It was actually the craziest thing for a little bit because
somebody's playing a prank on you at this point.
I didn't even put 2 and 2 together though until I got there.
Yeah.
And like we're like in a game and I like posted a picture and somebody commented and I was like, "You play for Spurs?" And I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
I was like, bro. And the rest of the time I was there, every time we break the huddle down, they'd be like, "Spurs!" on 3, and I'm like, it's kind of like, I'm locked in, I'm with the team, but it's like, damn, bro, like having to say that every day is definitely a very interesting and special form of torture. But I did love playing for them.
Special form of torture is insane.
I loved playing for the Spurs. I loved everything about it. I loved them, but I do not like the Spurs over there across the pond.
Now, speaking of which, there's a, you've been through a couple teams, and that's something that I see a lot more now in football. Like, I feel like as time evolves, we see less and less players sticking to one team in both basketball and in soccer.
Yeah.
So, take us through kind of like, because I think a lot of times fans get mad at footballers because when they see them go to another team, obviously in basketball is different. The reality that is being traded is, a lot more prevalent in this sport than it is, if players getting sent out on loan or something in football.
Yeah.
I feel like they have a little bit more control over that. What is that reality like? And, the reality that at some point, yes, I love this game, but it's a business, it's a job at the end of the day. And so this is a part of it. So what has that felt like for you, having to move around so much?
Yeah, so like my first time getting traded was like, it was pretty emotional, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was 24, I just had a great season here, and just like getting traded, I had just bought my house like 4 months before, and so I was like, what do I do now? Like, I gotta go to a whole new city. Like, I was upset, and it was just a lot of things that I had to go through that first time, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't see it as a business as much, so I was like, they don't want me, like, blah, 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 like this, that, and the third, and it really bothered me. But, I went to Philly, it was a blessing, I had a good time there, and after, like, sometimes guys get traded because the situation isn't, like, working out. Like, it's not perfect. Like, they're not all the way happy or whatever else. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes that has to happen in the NBA. It's sometimes it's mutual. Yeah. So a couple of my moves were just like, both sides. Like, okay, like we can do this. Yeah. Yeah. And so after that first time, I really kind of started seeing it as a business. Like, okay, like I know how to move my stuff. Like, I've been through it. Like, it's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? And so, I've made those moves, and it's been a blessing, honestly, being able to see so many cities. I've lived in, like, including college and home, probably like 10 cities now. Yeah. And so, like, I feel like I'm pretty cultured. I know a lot of different places. I know a lot of different people. Yeah. And, like, you really just got to see the bright side of it. But definitely, what I'm saying, trades and, like, guys getting moved in Europe it's a lot of things that go into it that like a lot of people on the outside would never see.
The fans oftentimes don't understand because, and I understand it in a sense of when you're passionate about something, especially there's a huge culture in soccer of nobody's bigger than the club.
Yes.
So when that happens and you see, a player wants to leave or they're calling for, a loan or, getting sold or something like that, like the fans take that as disrespect. They take that personally because it's like nobody comes before the club. I love this team. And so you shouldn't want to be anything but a part of it and give your all to it. Yeah. So anything outside of that, they take personally. Yeah. But sometimes also we don't see what's happening, behind the scene. Like you heard about Schweinsteiger with the stories he was telling about when he played for Mourinho at United, right? It's like this guy is, at that point, he's a World Cup winner. Yeah. He's a legend. Like, he's done so much for the game, in the game as a career. It's the latter, part of his career, and he's now being sent to play with the youth team. So now, if he's calling for a move, the fans could be like, oh, no, you're supposed to be proud to play for United, Because he's not going to, as an active player, he's not going to come out and say that. No. Right? He's not going to talk about that situation. Yeah. But we're only seeing half of the story. Yeah. So I think it's important to, like, get that perspective of, you never know fully what's going on behind closed doors, and that business is real.
Yeah, because, I mean, in his case, that's hard, bro. You've done everything. He's Bastian Schweinsteiger. Like, what are we talking about? Yeah. Like, he's used to starting every game, every night. And now he's, like, on the bench. He's in the reserves. Like, he's not suiting up. And now he's, like, with the U21s. And it's like, bro, like, I won a World Cup. Like, I've taken people to the mountaintop. So, of course, he's going to want to leave because it's like, I could go somewhere else and help and, like, contribute to winning instead of, like, just sitting here in the weeds. So, Yeah, it's a lot of different layers of stuff.
What's crazy is one other player that kind of that situation. A few Arsenal players have gone through that. I'm not gonna lie, with like the management and the team, where it's like the fans started out loving them and they played well for the club, and you can see they want to be there, but it's just so many different politics. Like I think that happened with Õzil, that happened with Aubameyang. At some point, Xhaka, who ended up getting back into the grace of the fans, but he at some point, he got subbed off.
Yeah,
he was like taunting the fans. He threw his armband, took off his shirt. Like it got bad.
It did.
So it's like, but you as a professional athlete watching like another athlete do that, what's going through your head when you see that? Is it that you're in fan mode and you're like, man, he's bugging, or you're like, damn, I get what can take you there?
I get it. Like when he threw the armband, and like when he was like getting just heckled and just like bannered like every game, like I could kind of see it building up. Like even a couple games before that, somebody said something to one of his teammates and he tried to go in the stands.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see it. Like he's getting it after every game, bro. Like there's no positive media on this guy at this point.
Yeah.
And like that can boil up because you try not to let it carry over into your life, but you know what I'm saying, playing at the highest level in England in football is probably very difficult. He was a captain.
It's pressure.
He was a captain, bro.
Yeah.
And like people aren't even talking positive about the captain of the team. It's very tough. And so Granit Xhaka was my favorite, has been one of my favorite players for Arsenal for a few years. Partly because of that and how I saw his journey, like fighting through that, going to the bottom, how that happened, and how he just didn't like come out and say outlandish things. You know what I'm saying? He stayed at it, stayed working hard, stayed with that motor. I love how he plays, but I mean, he fought his way back, and you love to see that redemption story for someone. And Aubameyang, I can't really speak as much because he was kind of bugging out. Even though
why was Aubameyang bugging out?
I mean, the man was late to like meetings. The man was late to stuff. Like, as a professional, you gotta be a professional at the end of the day.
Okay, so I'll say you might have an exceptionally, not just being like also an athlete, but you might have an exceptionally, you have a closer tie to that idea of structure because from the research I've done, your father is a retired firefighter.
Correct.
Your mother was a colonel in the
Air Force.
Or lieutenant colonel in the
Air Force.
In the Air Force.
Yeah.
So you grew up around structure.
Yeah.
For sure, like walk like this, do like this. Like I could imagine, right? I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But you could attest to that, or you could tell us more. How was that growing up, and how has that shaped you? Because I feel like anyone who hears that is like, there's an idea in your head. Like you walked around, you know what I'm saying, with a light seizure all the time.
Nah.
Baldy's like, sir, yes, sir, or ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Hey, like, I did have to say yes, ma'am, yes, sir.
Yeah, how was
my
that?
Mom did not play that. But I mean, like, it was a lot of structure in my house, but it wasn't like forced, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like my mom didn't bring the military home with her.
Okay.
So it was like, she had her stuff on, but like when she came home, it was, I mean, we were chill. Like me and my mom were very similar. So we would laugh, like just regular stuff. Like after my sister went to college and my pops would work overnight shifts at the fire department. So it'd just be me and my mom, and we'd like go to our corners of the house, and we'd come back out like after like 8 hours and be like, you still here? It was a little quiet in here. But I mean, if you need anything, let me know. But I mean, from the discipline standpoint, I was easy, bro. Like I didn't really do nothing but like play basketball and go to school. I wanted to be a surgeon, bro. You wanted to
be a surgeon?
I was trying to get there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What type of surgeon?
Orthopedic.
Orthopedic surgeon?
Yeah.
And you got a degree in psychology, right?
I studied pre-med my first 2 years, though.
So at what point...
What?
At what point did the NBA become like, okay, this is the choice that I'm going to make?
There's actually a story.
Because
you want to hear the story?
Very specific to want to be an orthopedic surgeon, and then...
There's a story.
What's the story?
So, get comfortable.
I'm here with you. I'm here with you.
So, this was the summer before my junior year of college.
Yeah.
So my first 2 years, I'm in pre-med kinesiology school. Like, I want to be orthopedic. That's my thing. Like, I went to like seminars in high school to like try to narrow down what I wanted to do. Like all of that. I was on the track, and so I had it. I'm studying my first 2 years, but like it's outrageous, bro. I'm doing like 3 hours of homework a night, plus labs, plus like all these tests and stuff. So it was a lot, but like I was focused on school. Like I was just hooping because I was good at it. And one practice before my junior year.
You just pissed off a lot of people, by the way, because you was
sorry.
because there's a lot of people who are like, I had hoop dreams. It's just talking about I was just hooping because I was good at it. But
So in practice one day, like I'm goofing off, like doing something stupid, bro.
Yeah.
And my coach like stops the whole practice. Conzo Martin, my boy, I appreciate that talk. Stops the whole practice. It was like, Richie, because he called me Richie Rich.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know, but you were supposed to be a captain last year, but we didn't want to name you a captain because all you do is play around, blah, blah, blah. You don't take this serious. I'm sitting there like, well, I mean, I thought everybody kind of knew that. Like, I was just, like, what do you want from me?
He doubled down.
But I'm locking people up. Like, I'm doing my job. I'm doing what they asking me. So it's like, what's the real problem?
Yeah.
And so, by the way, there was a rule my first 2 years that I couldn't shoot a 3-pointer before there was 8 or less seconds on the shot clock. I didn't really work on my game like enough. But like he's going at me and I'm like my mind is blown.
Yeah.
And so after practice, he calls to his office the next day and like we really sit down. He's like, there have been scouts like coming for your teammates because I had like other teammates that were older than me that were like on draft boards.
Yeah.
And he's like, and they're starting to ask about you, and it's like, you don't even care. Like, if you really take it seriously, like, I think you have a chance to like play professionally. And that was the first time like someone told me that. So I'm like the NBA, like, what are you saying? And he's like, like there's NBA scouts that are in the gym for practice, for games, and I'm like,
so up until then, you didn't have any sort of inclination that could be an option. You were locked into. That's super interesting because it's like in professional sport, especially in football, like so many places all around the world, that's all they see, which is why like whenever that dream gets shattered at some point, like it hits people mentally so hard because they saw nothing else. Like, and you had a completely different thing where you wanted something else, and then that opportunity came. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so after that meeting, I changed my major to psychology so I didn't have to do all that work every night. And so I had a little easier, and I started, like my roommate, Jordan McCray, he would go to the gym before class, and I started going, and we started working out extra, and I started really like attacking hoops. And the NCAA tournament that year, I averaged like 22 points a game. And then the next year, I averaged like 17 and a half. And I made first team all conference, first team all defense, defensive all American.
You better talk about it. Come on. You better talk about it.
So
realize that he didn't stutter that 1 second. He knows his accolades.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
They in my mama living room right now.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Wow. So and then from there on, you just never looked back.
Yeah, I got drafted second round. Yeah. Second round picks don't have guaranteed contracts.
Okay.
So I went to summer league thinking I was still gonna go overseas or go to the D League because the team had a full roster. And so I go to summer league and I played really well and they made movements and I got signed to a contract and I didn't play the first 40 games.
What was your first contract like?
My rookie contract was 4 years, like 2.5 million.
From just playing in college, potentially becoming, first of all, orthopedic surgeons are not. They're not making that. It's just they're not making that. They're not making that. So at that point, are you like I'm not saying, it's not like you're just doing it for the money. Obviously, that's a great add-on to it. Yeah. But at that point, are you like, oh yeah, there's no looking back now, for sure.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm here. I'm in the door. Yeah. I was like, I just gotta give everything I can and see what happens for real. Like, that's how I do a lot of stuff. Like, like I don't trip if it doesn't work out exactly how I want, as long as I know I did everything I could, gave my best effort, and then it'll work itself out or it won't.
Now, at any point though, from there on, because I've heard a lot from athletes all around that when you're not actually training or playing a game, everything else in between is just idle time. Like a
lot of free time.
You have a lot of free time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we could get into a lot of, what you do in your free time. Obviously, you had time to become a whole soccer fan. You follow Arsenal, you watch games, all of that. Yeah. And you also were telling me you got into DJing. Yeah. So what's like the lineup of your pastimes and your side quest other than playing basketball?
All right. So it's not a lot, but so my first 2 years in the league, I would just go to practice, come home. I lived in a condo, so I'd sit on the balcony for a while. I'd play the game. I would play video games all day, bro.
What's your top 3 video games all time?
All time?
All time.
Gotta be FIFA.
Come on. Of course.
Come on, man.
Of course.
Come on, of course. Yeah.
FIFA. Starting off great.
Super Smash Bros. Come on now.
What a top 2, first of all. FIFA, Super Smash Bros. Hey, if you from the generation that never played Super Smash Bros., go back, go on eBay, get a GameCube, get a PS1, do whatever you have to do and get Super Smash Bros.
Yes.
That's
elite.
Goated. That's elite.
That's cream of the crop.
Yes.
I might not even need to name a third one, honestly. But
just for the plot.
I'll say, man, I'll probably have to say NBA Live, just from when I was a kid. I would play with my boy Chad, that was the game, NBA Live. And then 2K took over, which is great, but NBA Live is nostalgia.
NBA Live over 2K?
It's just the nostalgia of it.
Okay.
That's how I grew up. I grew up on NBA Live.
Okay.
So for kids today, it'd be 2K, Yeah. So if they made another game in 5 years, and they'd be nah, 2K.
I feel that. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's not always about better or worse. It's just what you grew up with, what you're used to. It has a special place in your heart. So I feel that.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's when people talk about Real Madrid and their families being Real fans. I'm it's not that Real is a better club than Barca. Barca's obviously the better club. It's just that you grew up with it, so there's that nostalgia. Right?
That's a crazy segue you just took.
Right? I'm saying that's what I do.
That's crazy.
That's what I do.
That's a crazy.
I'm gonna find the connection some way, somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, whatever, bro.
But other than video games,
so I was just burning a lot of time, bro, and I didn't know what to do. So my 3rd year, I met one of my homies. His name's Yusuf. He actually moved into my neighborhood a couple years ago.
Shout out to Yusuf,
my boy. And he was a DJ. He was a resident DJ at Wall, which was a club at the W Hotel on South Beach. And I kind of started going to watch him play, you know what I'm saying, just to see something to do, listen to some music. And one day I just got interested in it. And I was like, yo, how do I get one of these? And he told me how to get a DJ controller. So I bought one. My first one was way too big, bro. It was just way too many buttons. I don't know why I bought it. But I started making mixes. I started recording myself, and it was garbage, bro. I'll send you one of my first ones. It's so bad.
I gotta hear it.
It's so bad.
I gotta hear it.
It's so bad.
How bad was it really?
No, it was
Are
bad.
you hypercritical?
No, it was bad.
It was okay.
You would
Did you think back then it was bad, or were you nah?
I'm killing it right now. I'm killing it. I'm about to be in it. No, it was bad, bro. Looking back, I'm what was I doing? But I started teaching myself how to DJ, and that really started taking a lot of my time, and having to download all the music. Actual DJing is just a small percentage of everything that goes into it, because you gotta set your crates, you gotta find ways to download the music, you gotta organize everything, and that's I've put probably 100 hours just sitting and just organizing stuff in the last year.
Fire.
And
so you actually, and you do this.
Yeah, I put a lot of time.
That's
team
dope.
flights, I don't sleep on planes. I can't sleep on airplanes. And so on team flights, you can ask any of my teammates on any team, I'll bring my laptop and I'll usually have like a little portable DJ controller, and
Yeah.
I'll just like go at it, like the whole flight.
So you know what? This is the perfect question to ask you because you're into music. You DJ.
Mm-hmm.
One, from the Miami Heat, who has the worst and best taste in music?
Oh my goodness.
Other than yourself.
Okay, I can't have the best. I'd probably say the best taste in music after me is probably Jaime Jaquez Jr., the rookie. Even though I haven't known him for super long, but like I've seen him out, and the songs that turn him up are the same songs that turn me up.
Okay.
So I can appreciate it. And he'll send me songs every now and then, and I'll be like, all right, it's a song.
Yeah. You know your stuff.
Yeah. And then the worst?
Worst taste in music. You have to have heard something and been like, yeah, what is
he playing?
What is this?
You know, I won't say it's the worst, but it's just not my taste.
Okay. We go through the diplomatic answer.
It's just Duncan, bro.
Okay.
Duncan Robinson. Who is my dog? I love Duncan. I've known him since he was a rookie.
Shout out Duncan
That's
Robinson.
my boy. Shout out Dunk.
Yeah.
No shade, Dunk. But he be playing like country music, like Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran's the man, bro. Like super talented, but like
What's wrong with Ed Sheeran and country music?
It's just not my speed, bro.
That's not your style.
And I appreciate, like, I'll listen to anything once.
Yeah.
I will listen to anything once. I promise you I will.
Damn, one time.
It don't matter what it is, I'll give it a listen.
Oh my God.
And I do like some Ed Sheeran songs. So I'm not shading Ed Sheeran, but I'm not trying to like lift weights to Ed Sheeran.
So even when you were playing in San Antonio, you're in Texas, you wasn't listening to no country music?
Bro, I went to school in Tennessee, bro. The home of country music.
Yeah. Well, I've been in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It takes over.
Good city, but
And it still didn't influence you. You still not budging.
I'm not gonna lie, I've tried a lot of times.
Old Town Road? Yeah, I'm gonna take my own.
Shabuzi. That's a cool song, but like I can't groove with it, bro. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
You not rocking with Beyonce's new album?
I have listened to it one time.
Damn. Okay, so yeah, Josh Richardson does not like country music. That's been established.
I'm from Oklahoma.
So when you DJing, we're not gonna hear no country in there.
Bro, you wanna hear something funny? I was DJing at the Komodo Lounge a couple months ago, and this dude Jimmy walks up to me at the DJ booth and is screaming at me to play country music. I have a video of it.
Jimmy Butler likes country music?
He writes country music. He's writing an album.
He's writing a country album?
It's actually like the words are decent. I don't like country music, but like sometimes he'll give me like his headphones on the team playing.
Yeah.
And like he has people like performing the songs that he's written. And it's like solid. I don't like country, but like if I did like country, I could see myself liking that.
So if there's anybody that could make you like country music, it might be Jimmy.
Might be Jimmy.
Might be Jimmy. Okay, Jimmy, get on it, Jimmy.
Don't take this as a ploy to play country music every time we go in the gym.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. It could happen. Who knows?
Cut this part out.
Yo, one thing I wanted to because we're talking about, side quests and, extra things that athletes do. I don't know if you heard this story. It's a young baller, Owen Ottasowie.
Okay.
Born in the U.S., played for Wolverhampton Wolves for a while. But he's been living in the UK for a minute, right? So he has a British accent, but he's from the US. Okay. Played for the US national team too. And recently went from Wolves to Club Brugge and then ended up retiring at like 21, 22 from football. No injuries, none of that. He just retired to start to continue working on his clothing brand, Carsico.
Wow.
Right? Exactly. So knowing that, again, as athletes, you have a lot of free times, you get into different things. To hear that, a young guy like that, his career is just starting and he was a baller.
Really?
Like he was nice.
Yeah. Coming
Coming up the ranks, he's a fly guy, whatever, but then now takes the ultimate step, fully moves away from soccer and focuses full-time on his clothing brand. Like what do you think goes on in the mind of a player? Because that's a huge step. Like you're giving up a once in a million like chance, opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
Like when you hear something like that, like what is that?
I mean, you gotta respect it for real. Like you have to. Like it's this guy on his Instagram. His name's Kids Football. He's an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
In his video, he always says, "I have to respect it still."
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Cause
you got to.
It's where if his heart's not all the way in it, then like he's just gonna flame out anyways.
Are there other players that, whether it's from, and you don't have to name names, but like from other teams, from your team, where you've been like, where you've known that he's just, this is not, like he's not in it.
You can kind of see it like with older guys when you can kind of tell like they're kind of winding down.
Yeah.
But with younger guys, like I'm trying to think. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say his name.
The name popped up.
I'm not gonna say his name. But yes, I've seen it.
They're like, there's the talent's there, but it's just.
Oh my goodness, and it pissed me off. So bad too. It pissed me off. So.
The talent's there, but
and he was talented too.
Yeah.
Talented. Oh my gosh, bro! You just brought back I tried to compartmentalize that. You just brought it back. Oh man, it really frustrated me because I was really like, I tried to go at him a little bit and like get it out of him, but it gets to a point where it's like I'm not about to waste my time if you're not about to like, you know.
Because it's your life at the end of the day, and that's one thing that I can agree with, because I see a lot of people talking about, you know, the Owen situation online, and they're like, yo, becoming a professional footballer and actually being good is one of the hardest things to do. Yeah. So the fact that you have that chance and you're still young and your team values you, like you're playing, you're a consistent starter, and you're, you know, climbing up, getting better and better and better. Like, how can you give that up? And one thing that he explains, because he talks about it often, because that's the main question is, like, I wasn't enjoying this at all anymore. Like the teams I was playing for didn't want me to play my game. They didn't want me, so my original plan wasn't, you know, this wasn't the life that I, you know, anticipated for myself. And so what I actually love, I'm gonna go ahead, what I love and I have a control over, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I can understand that. And, you know, have you ever felt like going into a different team, have you ever felt like, okay, this plan, just like I don't feel free here. I don't feel like this is what I imagined for myself, and this kind of changes your perspective a little bit on the game.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, just first of all, like getting traded at all, I was kind of like, am I doing this right? Yeah. Or like, do I really want to like? But I have been in situations where like it hasn't been ideal for me. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm a professional about it, so I'm gonna go in and like put my work in. I'm not bothering nobody. But I definitely have like came home like a lot of times like, yo, like I really don't know. Like, that's where therapy comes in too, though. We don't need to get into that. That's a whole nother horizon. Yeah. But I got into therapy. I started speaking to someone about it, and it kind of like it definitely helps bring my mental back sometimes. Yeah. But
well, speaking of that too, I mean, I even see on the table you have, you know, the book about Black mental health, and you know, you have a degree in psychology. One thing I wanted to definitely get into is your injury. You got injured a couple months ago. First of all, how are you feeling right now, as it stands right now? Like, how do you feel physically, mentally? How do you feel?
I feel good. I mean, I'm definitely super frustrated just from how the season ended. You know, 3 of our rotation players, including like our best player, Jimmy, just all got hurt at a really unfortunate time. So it definitely didn't help. But, you know, physically now I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm been going to physical therapy, 5 days a week? Trying to get my motion back in my arm, but I mean, it's rough, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's the first time I had surgery.
How was that?
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I went to the hospital. I was cracking jokes with the nurses. Next thing I knew, I woke up. I was in a sling, and my arm hurt. It was crazy.
So you know, you spoke about being in therapy before. You know, just to kind of be able to navigate like those transitions in life. Is that something you're still tapping into? You're still in therapy now, and how's that helped you through the injury?
Yeah, right now I need to actually find a new therapist. So right now I'm in that process, but no, like, bro, I've been in and out of therapy for the last like 6 years now. Yeah. And I find it helps me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't always feel pressure to go or to have to go, or like they don't call me like, yo, what are you doing? You haven't came. But like, yeah, when I need it, I definitely will call, talk about it, and it helps, bro. Like, it really helps. Like, I know there's like a weird like stigma about it that people put on it, but it's really like, it's important, bro. Like, there's no need to go if you don't feel it, but like, there's no point in just holding stuff in or just letting it build up and you know, trying to be tough for no reason, bro. Like, it's an easy fix. Not an easy fix, but it's an outlet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's important for guys in your position to talk about like their mental health journey and like what resources like they seek out for mental health, because like professional athletes, I don't know if this is a thing that you think about constantly, probably not, but everybody else that watches y'all, the general public sees y'all as superhuman, as like this. These are the most macho, strongest in all aspects individuals in the world. So when you're able to say, I have my weaknesses, I have my flaws, I have my moments when I'm down, I have moments where I'm not super confident, where I don't know how to process my emotions, where, you know, I just don't feel the strongest, and I have to, for me to get back to the right place, I have to seek out this help. You know, like, it's okay to extend my hand and say, I need help. It's okay to go to someone. It's okay to say, you know, I'm not okay right now. Yeah. So, like, I think that that's something where the more athletes come out, and I'm happy that there's more of like, that stigma is starting to kind of dissipate a little bit, where athletes are able to say, it's, you know, my mental health hasn't always been the best, but I've done something about it. Because we see what happens when people don't do something about it, when they let it linger on. Like, and even, you know, it's sad to say, like, I've seen it happen a lot of times in football for the young guys, you know, dudes who all they think about is like, I'm gonna be a soccer player, I'm gonna be a footballer, like, I wanna make it to the Prem, to La Liga, to Serie A, whatever, like, that's it. And then when that dream gets cut off, you know, sometimes they make the ultimate decision, and it's like, wow, like, what could have been done to prevent that? What could have been done to tell that kid, like, it's okay, like, yo, maybe you could be an orthopedic surgeon. Maybe you like that, you know? Maybe you could be a firefighter. Maybe, you know, there's other options. There's other things that you can love and that you can do with your time, with your life. Yeah,
there's a lot more things that you can do besides just sports. Like, your whole, like, identity and everything, like, it's easy to, like, once you're so locked in on that, it's easy to just, like, build your whole self around that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like even me, like, once I made the decision when I was young, like when I was young in the league, I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing. Like, I had some like times where I really like would bring work home, or I really like, I can't escape. And, you know, it's just, as I got older, as time went on, I saw a lot of the world, I saw a lot more things. It's like, at the end of the day, it's really like a lot more to life.
A lot more to life. That's something that, man, and it's so important, and it's difficult to understand that nuance, because to get to this level, you have to kind of treat it as if this is all that matters. For sure. Because that's the type of intensity that it takes to make it to that point. But that's sometimes also, at the same time, you got to reel it back at some point and understand, for your own peace of mind, for your own safety, that, okay, there's more to this. And if this is not going well right now, this doesn't define my whole self-worth, you know?
It's not the end-all, be-all.
It's not the end-all, be-all. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that what is one thing that you feel like, you know, influence you to be able to get to that point, to say, okay, I can't just I have to handle this the right way. I have to handle this in a healthy way, because the easiest thing to do is just go by the emotions, like your innate feelings, like whatever's feel instinctively is the best, which most of the time isn't the best, reaction, the best way to treat things. Mm-hmm. So what do you think, what got you to that point to say overall, no matter what it ends up being, therapy, whatever, no, I need to handle these emotions. I need to go about this in a healthy way.
You mean like what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you mean
like
what happened, or
is
like
it,
how did I?
Like, there's a lot of people who resort to, okay, I'm gonna cope with this with different substances. Like, I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna smoke, I'm gonna party, I'm gonna whatever. But what made you make the decision that, like, no, I'm not gonna go that route.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna deal this in a healthy way.
Yeah, bro, honestly, just sitting with myself.
Yeah.
Just like, and my parents kind of like, my mom would definitely kind of talk to me about it a little bit when I was younger. Just like, don't let this, like, you gotta let it go. Sometimes you gotta let it go. And before I got to the league, she never would say anything positive about me in sports.
Yeah.
Like, never said a good game, never, none of that.
Really?
She was one of those moms, which was great for me. But she not hate shit. But she
sounds Asian, right? That's us. That's what we do.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably, see? But I mean, and low key, seeing like football players, how they like handle losses, how they handle that stuff, how they'll like go post right after and just be like, all right, we're gonna go get them. We go again.
Yeah.
That saying really kind of helped me. Like, we go again, because at the end of the day, like, short memory.
We go again.
You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. But I mean, just honestly, just trying to like get it out and speak to someone, because I didn't really speak to anyone about a lot of my issues. Like, I got my homies, I got my family, but like, I'm pretty private, so I don't really just like want to like spill all my stuff on someone.
For sure.
And so I remember it did get to a point. I sat at dinner with my dad and I cried in front of my dad when I was 24. And I cried in front of him, and he like kind of broke it down to me. And like 2 weeks after that, I got into therapy. And that was the first time I really got in therapy. I was like, I need to.
What was the situation that brought you to like that moment where you cried, the emotions?
I'm gonna be real transparent.
Yeah.
So I was 24. I had just had the best season of my life. Mm-hmm. I just got traded, so I had to move all my stuff out of my house I just bought. I was having issues with my girlfriend at the time, and we were serious. Yeah. And it was like, I was trying to figure out if I need to stay, what I need to do, like how I need to approach it. Yeah. And that was weighing on my brain so much. Like, I was taking that to work, and then just work was like tough, like in and out. I wasn't sure about that. Yeah. And so it was a lot of like what ifs there. And it was just like all of that stuff was weighing on me. And I sat at dinner with my dad, and I was like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do with any area of my life right now. I don't know what to do. And he was just telling me like, yo, you're in a great position. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're blessed. You need to really like look at the bigger picture. Yeah. And like see like everything that you've been blessed with, where you were supposed to be at, like how you thought your life was gonna go and where you're at now. And I was like, damn, you're right. And it was just after that, I was like, I need to really sit down and talk to someone and really like have a conversation. Because that little conversation at dinner with Pops,
that was the spark.
That was a spark. And it was like not that long of a conversation, you know what I'm saying? But after that, I was like, I need to like find someone I can really like speak to and like help me through this, because it gets to a point where you can't just like get through it yourself. Yeah. Because it gets like it could get real heavy. Yeah.
And it's okay to not be able to do it yourself. You know, that's why the resources are there. That's why there are people whose jobs it is to go that extra mile, to, pick through your brain and look through your life and, kind of filter through it and give you like the objective, okay, this is where you're at. And it help you to, I feel like in therapy, it's more not just giving you the answer, but like filtering out everything and kind of organizing it for you so that you can see, because you're the one going through it. Mm-hmm. But when you can see it from a different perspective, oftentimes you can end up just finding those answers by yourself. You know, no one actually has to give you the answers. You just have to see it from a different perspective.
Yeah, and that non-biased perspective is important too, because if I'm wrong, like I want somebody to tell me like, yo, you're bugging.
Yeah.
Like you need to reel that back in. This is your fault.
Yeah.
But like, if it's not, or if it's like just something like neutral or any issue, like I need that. Like that non-bias is very important. It's good.
For sure. And I think that right now in the media, in football media, there's a lot of talks about managers. There's a lot of managers who's been either fired or who have left. Pochettino just left Chelsea. Xavi just got fired by Barca.
Trash. Stay in the mid-table, Chelsea. Stay down there.
I just spoke about that the other day too. I seen a bunch of Chelsea fans like making fun of an Arsenal fan because they fumbled the league, and I'm like, you guys are in the middle of the table. You're not in Europa. You're not in Champions League. You won nothing.
They trying to find us over the top. They down there with the crowd.
I'm like, what's the point? You making fun of them. But, in terms of as we talk about mental health and talk about the game, like one figure in a lot of teams who oftentimes is a source of, that unbiased opinion, that objectivity. And sometimes that plays a father figure, or a mother figure for a lot of these athletes, or the coaches, the managers, And with a lot of talks of, should this coach be fired? Should teams keep coaches longer? Is like the lifespan of a coach, has it gotten too short nowadays? Like, what, and you've played for some legendary, coaches in basketball, Greg Popovich, Spoelstra now for the Miami Heat. What's your relationship been like all throughout your life, from high school until now, with your coaches?
Yeah, it's been great. In college, boy, my college coach is really like a dad to all of us. Like we got really like blessed. Like Conzo Martin was like, he would give us classes like outside of hoops, just like every week it'd be a different subject. And they taught us how to tie ties, and none of us knew how to tie ties. We were like 20 years old.
Fire.
And like that just kind of sticks out. But just being able to speak about things outside of hoops with your teammates and your coaches was very interesting for me there. I think it helped our chemistry a lot. And then as I went pro, Spoelstra was my first head coach. Yeah. And I was young, and he's a hard coach to play for. You know what I'm saying? He's hard nosed. He doesn't take a lot of BS. But what I appreciate about him is he just treats everyone on a level ground. You know what I'm saying? So early in the league, that was all I knew. And so it was nice to be able to have that. I went to Philly, and I had my issues a little bit with Brett Brown that we resolved when I went to San Antonio because he was assistant coach under Greg Popovich. Yeah. And I wouldn't say a bad word about Brett Brown now, I would not. Because just being able to see him without the pressures of being a head coach, because it's a lot different than being an assistant coach and a head coach, you know what I'm saying? And so just being able to see him really thrive, in that role was good for me. And I appreciate him because the day I got traded to San Antonio, we hadn't spoke about our issues. Yeah. And the day I got there, he called me into his office and we sat down, and we just kind of chopped it up for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah. And it was like, we're gonna be professional about it, and it was nothing personal. Yeah. And after that, we were like,
that's dope.
My whole time there.
That's dope.
It was great. Popovich was amazing. I grew up watching him. Yeah. My mom loves him. I wasn't a huge Spurs fan, but I appreciated how they played the game. And so being able to work with Popovich was like,
he's one of those coaches you just can't hate.
Man, and he's so charismatic.
Yeah.
He's so good at being militant and knowing what he needs and what he wants to come out of practice in the games, and he does not mess around. He does not mess around. Yeah. But he's so good at balancing that and joking and caring about off the court and just still being very friendly, and you want to play for him. You want to do well for him. You want to do the little things. And it's just, he has a balance that I've never actually seen in anyone else. I think that's why he's the most legendary coach.
Now, you're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
Playing for the Heat.
Yeah.
One question, since we're talking about coaches.
Okay.
If they had to trade places, would Arteta make a better basketball coach, or would Spoelstra make a better football coach?
Ooh. That's a good one.
Gotta let the people know.
I think Arteta would probably make a good basketball coach.
Ooh, talk about it. Arteta would make a good coach, a good basketball coach.
Yeah, I think he would. I think it'd be close. I think Spo would be a really good soccer coach.
Yeah.
Because Spo's really good at actually I think they both are at like bringing in like outside influences to the team. You know what I'm saying? And Spo's good at like connecting. Like he'll give you a book.
Yeah.
And you'll read it. Or you don't even gotta read. He's good at giving you books where you read like the first page and it gives you like all the goods.
Yeah.
And so like you read that, he's good at just like doing that, like bringing that to the game. And Spo's very open-minded. So like I can talk to Spo. Like
okay.
I'll give you an example. We were in Phoenix this year, getting smacked.
Yeah.
The Suns are smacking us. It's the third quarter, and we're down by like 25, bro.
Yeah.
And it's right after halftime. They go on a run. I play off the bench. He subbed me in early in the third, like just to like kind of like stop the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah.
We come to a timeout, and Spo is hot, bro.
Yeah.
And so after the timeout ends, like we're in the huddle, cause like Spo will like wait the first like 30 seconds of the timeout, and we'll sit in the huddle, and we'll like talk it out, like what are we doing? What do we need to do? What are we doing wrong? What are we doing right? And sometimes we'll like get into it a little bit, and so we were kind of getting into it, like what the fuck are we doing? Like blah blah blah. KD's shooting threes, Brad Beal's like doing everything,
dishing it out,
doing everything. And Spo comes to the huddle, he's pissed. I don't even remember, bro. He was like seeing red. I was just like this. And after the huddle, he threw the clipboard down.
Yeah.
And Bam was like, hey, Spo. He said, you doing that is not helping us.
Yeah.
He's like, you showing us that's not doing nothing. That's not helping us win. That's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And Spo was like, check. And that means like, I got you. Like, that's my fault. I was out of line. Like, that's what we say. But like being able to say something like that to your coach and he like really takes it and like, you know what I'm saying, listens.
Yeah.
I think that's great for like a professional level. College, I don't gotta listen to anything. Yeah. But professional, like we're all pros, we're all men, we're all adults. And so
that really shows like being egoless like that is extremely rare because you're in a position of like a lot of time being in that position of leadership, you don't feel like anybody has the right to speak to you, to tell you how you're supposed to feel, how you're supposed to do it, especially not in the moment.
Yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10, somebody could talk to you afterwards. Mm-hmm. But in that moment, being able to take that feedback and like,
and not like bark back.
Yeah.
It's like,
wow, that's commendable.
So I think Spo would be able to go to Arsenal and be able to like, I think he would like be able to like bring his tactics and, you know, they have a great defense. They would be like Mourinho when he coached Chelsea that year, like giving up no goals. That's how Spo's team would be because he's like big on defense. I think Arteta, like if he came here, I think we have a pretty athletic team, so I think he would probably have us like just out. Just
you see Arsenal?
Yeah,
Arsenal is a dynamic team.
Yeah,
very very dynamic team.
Yeah, I think he would come here and just like it'd be seamless. So I think he would be a pretty good hoops coach. And he's motivational. Like the speech he gave with the light bulb. Yeah. Woo! Man, had me about ready to jump through the TV.
Arteta and his speeches, I'm sorry, I love it. But sometimes after this season, now I'm like, you know what? Something's got to change about the speeches. Something's got to change about the speeches.
Come on.
Because Arsenal have a great team right now.
Yeah.
Trossard.
Yeah,
Odegaard,
yeah.
Xhaka, right? That defense, like you said, Saliba and Gabriel in there. Even Gabriel Jesus, who gets a lot of flack from people, from fans, and you know sometimes deservedly so in terms of his consistency and some of his performances. However, he would be a starter on a lot of teams right now. A lot of teams, right? So Arsenal have a strong collective.
Yeah.
But the fact that like giving up some like non-negotiable games throughout the season to lead to that point where like you have to wait until the final game of the year, final game of the Premier League season to try and hope that City fall down so that you can win the league. It's like, with a team like that, you're supposed to go the distance all throughout the season. You're supposed to like keep that focus. And, you know, you could attest to, that's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be that consistent across, you know, 30 plus games in the league. Then you have to play, you know, your European competitions in between and international breaks. Like it's a lot. But it's like, with such a team, how did you feel, you know, during the final game or the ending times of this season when Arsenal are like fighting to potentially, if City slip up, for them to win the league? How does that feel as a fan, having to like go through that type of stress?
I'm not gonna lie. I love this season. I had a great time. You know, waiting on the last game for City was, I wasn't even stressed. I knew they were gonna win. I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew they were gonna win.
It's Man City.
Yeah, like
it's Man City.
We had our chance, and my only gripe with Arteta is like he kind of stubborn with his adjustments and his subs. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes he'll stay with guys a little too long that I would, you know, than I would like. But you know, that's him. That's how he coaches, and hopefully we can look back at this season and, you know, learn from that. Hopefully we get another right winger that you can throw in there for Xhaka sometimes, so he not, you know, running down the end of the season. Or we can get that, you know, left 8 with Odegaard in the midfield, or get a 10 and let him play the 8. You know, because he kind of plays box to box. He has a good motor. You know, hopefully we get Timber back this next season and he plays, because he was looking really solid before he got hurt. I was at the game against Barcelona in LA. And you know, hopefully we can get across that finish line next season. But
Baller for Ajax too.
Baller. His brother's a baller too.
Yeah, both brothers.
But I mean, just little mistakes I hope we can learn from. But I had a great time. You know what I'm saying? There's a bar I go to down here to watch the games, and we had like a little.
Is it an Arsenal bar?
Yeah.
Y'all got an Arsenal bar in Miami?
Come on, bro.
Miami get down like that?
Hey, clip this. Put this on the stream. Next season, you have to come to the Arsenal bar with me for a game.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
You have to come.
I'll pull up. I don't know if am I allowed.
Don't wear that shirt.
I'm not allowed with the Spurs shirt.
You might not make it out of there wearing that, Chief.
I'll pull up with an Arsenal. I'll pull up with an Arsenal kit.
They're gonna hit you with a who are ya? Who are ya? Who are ya? Nah, yeah.
I'll make sure not to pull up with the Spurs kit. But I'll pull up to Arsenal match. Listen, I'm not an Arsenal hater. Okay. Right? I'm more of a.
You look like one of that.
Nah, I'm not Arsenal. This is for drip. It's for drip. Shout out Saturday's football. This is for the drip.
I'm not saying
it's a retro kit. You know it's a nice kit. It's okay. You can admit it. It's a really nice kit.
The ocean's right there, bro. You can just go throw it in there.
I care about the turtles. I'm not throwing that kid in the ocean. I'm not throwing it. But we have a few. I have some speed round questions, right? These are questions, you know, you can explain if you want, or you can just give us a straight up answer and then we move on to the next one. I just kind of want to know first things that pop into your head, right?
Cool.
What really your innate instinctive answer and feelings for what these things are.
Cool. Speed round it.
Now, are you ready?
Yep.
A GOAT footballer.
Thierry Henry.
Fair enough. It makes sense. A GOAT basketball player.
Michael Jordan.
Okay. Now, you have to name, I'm going to give you a few names of footballers. You have to give me the NBA comparison to these footballers.
Okay.
You got 5 names.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Mbappe.
Are we going off of like how they play or like?
Listen, whatever your standard is, I'm talking full like
Mbappe.
Not just like I'm talking their accolades. I'm talking how they play, like age. Just
I'll say Luka.
Luka.
Just from like how effective he is. He's been to the top.
Yeah.
He's still really young. I mean, he takes his country to the World Cup finals almost.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, I'd probably say Luka.
Luka. Okay, we gonna get back on the Luka conversation too, because that's you played with him too in the.
Yeah, I know Luka since he was 15.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Wow. I worked out with Luka one time when he was 15 in Santa Barbara, and we played pickup. And I came back here and I told my boy the day after I got back, I said I just met the first pick in the draft in 2 years.
Really?
Yeah. In 3 years. Yeah.
So from back then you already knew, like it was
It was done deal.
He's that good.
Yeah. Just like from his pace, from how he like sees the game. I was like, yeah. And he was huge already.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this guy's going to be the first pick for sure.
Wow. And that's another player who, like, he likes soccer too.
Yeah, he loves it, yeah.
What is that? What players have you played with that are also soccer fans? Because I see it as like a trend now. Like I'm seeing, you got Luka.
Yeah, Joel, Embiid.
Yeah,
we played
like soccer. I be seeing his warm-ups and he's doing kick-ups before the game.
Yeah, we used to juggle back and forth before the games.
Fire.
Dennis Schroeder.
Okay. He's German.
He's German.
He played, yeah.
He's really good at soccer too. He's good.
Really?
Yeah, he's good. He can like kick it into the goal.
Find out Dennis is a baller too. Okay.
Yeah, he's good. Who else? Jeremy Sohan in San Antonio. He's from Poland, or he's Polish.
Yeah.
His history's Polish.
I've seen Jimmy hang out with a lot of footballers. He's a proper soccer fan?
Yeah, he's a proper fan. We'll talk about it back and forth. He can keep up.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. He loves Neymar though. He loves like PSG too, which I have no idea why, but yeah, he likes PSG, bro.
As a personality, I mean, just that club in terms of like its flashiness and its like stature, like I could see that.
It checks out
for him, and he's cool with Neymar.
Yeah, that's his man's. Yeah.
And I've seen him hang out. It makes a lot of sense. I've seen him hang out with Pogba and like those type of players. So like the bigger personalities, it seems that he attaches himself.
Kind of gravitates, yeah.
And himself, like bro, I'm not gonna lie. What did he get? He got like lock extensions at some point.
Yeah, he
like
did.
It was like the beginning of the season.
He got
what was like
for the
he's a character too.
Bro, he was trolling so crazy, bro. Because they had to use that. He wore the dreads in the roster photos.
Yes.
So like when they put the game up on ESPN, it's like the Heat versus the Thunder or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they put a picture of Shea up and they put a picture of Jimmy up, and it was like he wore that hair because they had to put that picture up all year.
Just the troll.
The dude is funny, bro.
How is it being in the locker room? What comes to your mind in terms of like top Jimmy moments that you're like, oh no, this guy is a character? Like your funniest Jimmy Butler story.
I don't know, bro. One of them, we were in Memphis. And we had been like talking back and forth about sky hooks, like you know, sky hook.
Yeah.
And like nobody shoots those anymore. And like I'm like, I bet you won't. I bet you won't. He's like, what? I was like,
don't threaten him with a good time.
He's like,
bro.
all right. In the first quarter, he runs through the lane and goes, sky hook, and yells it, and he made it. I said, bro, there's no way this guy just did that.
Yeah.
Or like when he wore the emo hair.
Oh my goodness.
To the media day. He had
with the piercings.
Yeah. I'm like, he don't care. But it's like a genius. Cause it's like he's in the media.
It'll get people talking.
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
Emo Jimmy is like a thing. He probably copyrighted it. I might copyright that.
Off-camera question. Do you feel like I'm sorry, bro, basketball. I'm not really well, I'm not
good.
Yeah.
But post Timberwolves.
Okay.
Post Philly for Jimmy. Do you feel like Miami opened him up to like being more fun and funny? Because he was dealing with a lot. Remember from almost like losing Kawhi.
Yeah.
And then even with the Timberwolves stuff, all these trades. But he, like the media tried to paint him as the bad guy.
Nah, like Jimmy always been funny. Like he's always been like a big personality.
Yeah.
But these teams that he was on were just like kind of soft. Like Like, not like physically soft, but just like a guy like Jimmy, who's as abrasive as he is, like a lot of teams, the guys don't listen to listen. They listen to like to say something back. Yeah. And so it's like Jimmy's not gonna like come to you like, hey bro, think about doing this. Like if we're in a game, he'd be like, fucking get back. Yeah. Fucking do this. Yeah. And it's like a lot of guys don't know how to handle that. A lot of guys aren't like mature enough to like be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should do that. And like here, everybody talks like that. Yeah. So it's like, Jimmy, what the fuck are you doing? Wake up. Yeah. He's like, you right. Yeah. You right. You right. So it's like, being here is just like kind of my bad, bro. Yeah,
he forgets. He starts my side.
Like, being here for him is probably like he feels at home here, cause like Spo is even like that. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone here is really like about winning. We're straightforward. We kind of take all the BS out. Yeah, it's like the culture. So he just fits.
But that's crazy because you basically described Aubameyang, because that's essentially as a personality, that's how he was. But you said that when he was playing for Arsenal, he was bugging out a little bit. I felt like that was Aubameyang. Like he's a big personality. He'll score a game, he'll wear the Batman mask like that.
That's cool, but you gotta be a professional, bro.
True.
He's not. You can't do all that and do all that extra stuff. Pull up in the goal, Lambo, 15 minutes late for the team meeting, and be upset about a fine.
Very true. Very true.
Come on, bro. Like you're a pro.
So other than that, that's the only thing for you that like made the difference.
That's my only gripe.
Be a personality, but
yes,
do the work correctly also.
Yes, like show up on time. Take care of your business.
Like,
just be professional about it. You do whatever you want to outside of that.
Now, what do you say to, I'm a professional, I'm scoring goals, I'm getting the results done, but I'm still late to training?
I mean, bro, that's for the coach to figure out.
That's for the coach to figure out.
For me, I would still like have an issue. Like if I was a coach, I would still be like, bro, like, nah, you're not starting tonight. Yeah. Because you think you bigger than everyone else. Yeah. That's basically saying I'm more important than all of y'all. Yeah. Because y'all got to sit here for 10 minutes and not do film and wait for me to get here. Yeah. And so like, come on, man. Like, okay, we got a team flight. We're going to wait for 30 minutes for him to get here. Then we can leave. Yeah. What if it start thunderstorming or like snowstorming in that 30 minutes? Then we can't leave.
It's the principle. I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aubameyang though.
Shout out that boy, man. Real hooper. Great season this year, too.
Very true. Come on. Sometimes, listen, I'm a firm believer of sometimes it's not the player, sometimes it's the team. Also, the environment sometimes invites that for the players to just not. Like, you should still be on time for everything.
London do got a lot of traffic.
You got a lot of traffic. Take the tube.
A lot of cars.
Hey, listen, their subway system is immaculate.
On the tube.
Yeah, why not?
He's not gonna be able to get off the tube because they're gonna be swarming him.
I feel like the more you do it, the more normal it becomes, and the more people get used to it. And then at some point, like the first few times, it's gonna be a lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Then after that, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I just saw Aubameyang.
Just dab
you know?
Just on the tube.
Yeah, on the tube. It's normal. It's all right.
It's all right.
Just Pierre. It's not even last naming anymore.
Just Pierre.
That's Pierre.
On a first name basis.
Yeah. Now getting back to our speed round.
Okay.
Next player. Haaland. Ooh. Uh-huh. Ooh. Erling Haaland.
I'd probably say I'm trying not to just think about black people with the black players and white people with the white players. I don't want to be that guy that does that.
You can't be.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing it. I might just go opposite for all the players. Haaland, big, powerful, scoring machine. Scorer,
yes. Freak of nature.
I might go Joel.
Joel Embiid. It's actually.
I might go Joel, bro. Bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
He can score from anywhere, and you're not gonna stop it.
That's a great comparison. That's a great comparison.
Yeah. If it touches his hands, it's probably gonna go in. If it touches his boot, if he cocks that boot back, you know what time it is.
That's a great comparison. Joel Embiid. Okay, now Bukayo Saka.
My boy, my beautiful Pookie Bear star boy.
Colin Saka. You know what's crazy? I'm not mad at it because that's a great way to describe Saka. Is Pookie Bear star boy.
That's the boy.
He's adorable.
That's the guy.
People love him.
You can't hate him.
You can't. Bukayo Saka.
Young, really athletic, good scorer, good passer. I want to go Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. SGA. Okay. Okay. You killing this right now. Okay, these are good. I have no objections. Odegaard.
Ooh, Maestro.
Had a rough start, but then came back and now leading the charge. Martin Odegaard.
Really good facilitator, very creative.
Super creative.
Very creative.
Just movement off the ball, on the ball, dribbling crazy. Doesn't get enough credit for it. Body movement is insane.
I might go Halliburton.
Okay.
Even though he's a righty.
I can see that.
Halliburton's real creative, really, really good passer. Led the league in assists.
Yeah.
Can score like crazy. Odegaard can get a bucket when he needs it. I wish he would shoot a little more, but that's neither here nor there.
Halliburton, okay, that's a good one. Now, last but not least, Vinicius Jr.
Super, super fast.
Skillful.
I might go Donovan Mitchell.
Vinicius Jr., Donovan Mitchell.
Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards could be
That could be Ant.
That could be Ant.
That could be Ant. But Ant's like big and like powerful, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, other than that, I would. But so is Donovan Mitchell is pretty.
Don is 6'1" though.
You know, it's hilarious when y'all say, like, he's 6'1" though. For regular people, that's tall. For y'all, that's like, you say he's 6'1" as if he's bad small.
That's small for like the position he plays.
Oh my goodness.
Vinny's small. We'll slash that. Okay. We can go both of them. We can like go Donovan or Ant.
Okay, we'll go Donovan Edwards.
I don't like that.
Anthony Mitchell?
That sounds a little better.
Okay, we'll do Anthony Mitchell. Anthony Mitchell works. All right, next speed round question. Favorite city to play in?
New York.
New York. Okay, the Garden?
Yeah, the Garden.
Fire. Okay. Favorite basketball player growing up?
Kevin Durant,
KD.
Yeah.
To have him be like somebody you look up to and then to play against them.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Crazy.
I can imagine.
Crazy. Like when I was like, because the Thunder came to Oklahoma City, I was in 8th grade. So, but before that, I was a big Shaq guy.
From Oklahoma too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when they came and being able to see them, and the team was young, it was just like, we got a superstar. Like, you got KD and Westbrook.
Yeah. And
it was like, the city loved him. And so I grew up, like after 8th grade, I was KD. I don't care about nobody else. I'm KD. I'm playing with him on the game. Yeah. I'm watching all the games. I got the jersey. Like, I was a big KD fan. So, you know, when I got to the league and I got to guard him and match up with him, like one game in San Francisco, we were playing the Warriors. I had 37 points and KD was there. And I was like going at it with him. And he had, I think he had like 38 actually. And they beat us by 3. But like, that's a story that I all remember forever. Like,
going head to head with the player that like you look up to, and then to be able to ball out like that simultaneously, that's special.
Yeah, it was in Golden State too. So I was like doing it in front of their crowd. It was great.
See, you might have just answered the one of the final questions, because I was just gonna ask you proudest career moment.
That was a good one. Even though we lost, being able to like go at Steph and KD like that was like, yeah.
Okay. Now, final question. Best fan moment.
Best fan moment.
Fan interaction, maybe, whether it's in arena, outside, a random fan, like just best fan moment.
I'll probably say it happened this year. One of them. The one I can remember was this year. There was I was in warm-ups, like before a game. I forgot who we were playing. And like Jimmy like came up to me and tapped me. It was like, yo, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And it's this kid with a sign that said, I flew all the way here from, I forgot where, it was in Asia. He was like, to see Josh Richardson.
Yeah.
He had my jersey on. He was like jumping up and down. I waved at him. He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the game, I walk out into the parking garage, and funny enough, he like ran into some of my boys.
Yeah.
Like after the game, so they brought him out there, and he was like
Fire.
standing there, and he was like, and I was like, I signed this stuff, and he was like, I'll never forget this.
That's
This
dope.
The best day of my life.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a cool moment.
Super cool moment, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you know that, I'm pretty sure, you know, that puts things into perspective for you. Being able to see, you know, the influence that you have on someone from halfway across the world.
Yeah.
And them like, you know, making that trip and coming to support and show love. Like, that's got to feel special.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, and another one I remember, I'll probably say I went to Denmark for with the NBA to do like some clinics and camps with kids. And like they don't really like hoop a lot over there, you know what I'm saying? So it was like kind of new, but at the camps, like I was there for like 5 days, and like every day the numbers grew of kids every day. And just being able to like meet them, like talk to them, meet their parents, like was super dope for me. Like I got to go to like the projects over there and talk to those kids and just like, like kind of like, Denmark. And like sit down and like chop it up with them. And you know what's really, I never have seen this. Like being able to speak to a group of small kids and that English is not their first language.
Yeah.
And seeing like me say something and then some of the kids are like, and then the other ones are like, and then seeing another kid translate that into another language is the dopest thing ever to me. Like first graders are just like, oh, he said.
Yeah.
And
you see the wheels turning.
Bro,
and just,
that's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Now, in speaking about kids, you know, if one of your fan moments is, you know, a kid coming up to you, you know, you holding the clinics. What is something that right now, in what year is this for you in NBA? This is
I just finished 9.
Year 9.
Yeah.
Year 9. You just finished year 9.
Yeah.
30 years old right now. You know, we soon see you back on the court. What's the biggest piece of advice that you can give, you know, whether that's life, whether that's basketball, whether that's football related, piece of advice to anybody growing up, looking at you from whether it's China, whether it's in Brazil or, you know, London, wherever, biggest piece of advice that you have for someone coming up watching you?
For like younger kids, I probably honestly, how I did things when it comes to sports is how I would like teach my kids. Like play everything you can. Yeah. Have fun with it until like you get to the point where you're like, okay, like I really want to take this seriously. Yeah. Because I've seen a lot of people get burned out. I've seen a lot of people just kind of flame away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Fall out of love.
Yeah. And for me, like I just had fun with it until, I mean, I got blessed enough for my moment to become late. You know what I'm saying? I was 19 when it happened, but for when that moment comes where you're like, I'm going to put everything into this, then that's when you like really flip that switch. But up until that, like, you know, work on it, you know, try to get better, try to be the best you can. But honestly, just remember, like, it's a game. And like, focus on school and grades and like getting that. But yeah, once that moment comes though, there's no turning back.
There's no turning back?
You really got to do it from that moment.
You run full head first with it. And that's important. I think that's great advice. I think that, it's important for people to learn to put in the work. Work ethic is something that it's not either you work hard or you have fun. You can do both.
Yes.
You can enjoy being both. And obviously, you could be a testament to that of enjoying what you do, but also working hard at it. But
like in high school, like I had fun with it. Like but I still went to the gym before class.
Yeah.
Like with my mom, like at 6 a.m. Like I was pissed when I was doing it.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, like
but it worked out in the end.
This is cool. Like like I still
out.
wanted to do that. So
Absolutely. Well, Arsenal fan and all, I know it's been a painful time being an Arsenal fan, but it's been a great time chopping it up with you, my boy. Josh Richardson, I appreciate you, bro.
Of course.
For having us, welcoming us to your home. It's been Evergreen, first Evergreen guest.
First guest.
Ever.
Don't forget it.
Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. We're going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.
That's a wrap.
Wrap him up.
Oh, wait. Do we still have more on either one?
Yeah.
I wanted to say something. First of all, right, I forgot this mid-episode, but I got you something. I got you two things, actually.
Oh man.
I got you two things. First, I want them to see the bag, first of all, because it's a
giraffe.
It's a giraffe.
Okay.
You get it?
No.
It's because you're tall. And
Man, give me the bag, bro.
So first, I got to take out the first one for you, and I have to say that, this is recently I came out because I love football so much, and you love football, and I feel like any football fan kind of speaks a language. I feel like football is a universal, soccer is a universal language, whatever you want to call it, calcio, football, whatever.
Yeah.
So I came out with, the love language hoodies and limited edition. So just wanted to bless you with your very own.
Yeah. Can I open it?
Of course. Open it up.
Where's Arsenal on here?
It's somewhere on there.
Whoa!
It has to be. It's somewhere on there. Don't look at it too close.
It's in the back.
Now, though.
Yeah, it's in the back.
It has to be somewhere on there. But yeah, man, had to make sure I bless my boy up.
Oh yeah.
Football is my love language. Yes, sir.
Thank you, bro.
Come on. Had to make sure.
That's high quality too. That's felt.
Hey, it's what's that called? It's suede.
That's nice.
It's a little nice thing. And as we like to give people their flowers, while they can still smell them. So I made sure I got you some high quality, real flowers.
What a guy.
I gotta give you your flowers.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, these are real. Don't smell them too close.
Okay.
You might get allergic. Okay. These are real high quality flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie though.
What?
I'm on a tight budget, so I'm gonna need this back after we finish this.
You're sick. Yeah. You are sick. You are a sick man, bro.
My boy.